the next part we're going to get into, so we've introduced the past tense, okay? The next two things I'm going to do are just merely introductions, okay? If you're ready to take it on, go for it. But they're going to be, I'm going to sort of drop them into every single lesson from now on. So we're going to see the past tense every single time, okay? So if you can get it today, great. If you can't, don't worry. This is kind of, this stuff's a little bit above and beyond. It's just an introduction, okay? We're going to use the verb ita, okay, to illustrate it. With every single verb, starting next class is the first class we learn a bunch of verbs, okay? We're learning hada verbs. It's a group of verbs, okay? Class 12. So we'll see a little bit, we'll have more examples to compare it to. But every single verb, once we get into the conjugation of them, which conjugation of verbs sounds horribly boring, but unfortunately it's necessary, okay? We've seen here where we have, with this verb we've seen eat, okay? We've had our unchanged form, okay? And we have our changed form. So in the honorific we said 있습니다. This did not change, we just attached a 습니다, okay? We have eat. We've seen with our and on the end, 있고. Okay, this is the unchanged form. Eat. It's just the exact root of that verb. Okay? What I will call the unchanged form. Okay? This is what I will start, the terminology I'll start using. Unchanged or unconjugated. Does that make sense? Okay, it's just dropping the da and that's what you have. Okay? We saw in the common level, the difference between the common and the casual was just that there's no yo, or there is a yo. So, the yo is just there for politeness. So look at this form, 있어. We have eat and we have 있어. This is our unchanged form. This is our changed form. Okay? This is the terminology I'll start using.
So what's the unchanged form? Just the beginning?
The unchanged form is when we have it and it's exactly what the root verb is.
That's with the a?
That's o, 있어.
No,
Here? No, that's an S. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, the unchanged form is just the e.
Right, and it's for any verb. So the verb, which we haven't seen officially, but hada, the unchanged form is ha.
So that go you wrote.
The go is just to show.
That it's, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha.
The changed form is 있어. Okay? More terminology. The unconjugated form, the conjugated form. Okay? When I use these, this is what I'm referring to.
Unconjugated?
This one is unconjugated, this one is conjugated.
Unconjugated.
Okay? Again, I'm just introducing it. This will make more sense when we have a pattern of verbs. Okay? Now, the reason you need to know both for every verb, the reason conjugation in Korean, the reason conjugation for verbs is so important is that sometimes, so we've started to see where things go on the end of verbs. Okay? If we're putting a go, meaning and, on the end of a verb, it doesn't matter what the verb is. We're going to put it on the base form of a verb, an unchanged verb. If you put a go on the end of hada, you would put ha-go. Okay? This is just something you have to remember, and it becomes easy to remember when you see it again and again. There's going to be other sentence patterns that will always go, like other things that attach on the back of a verb, that will always go in the changed form. And we're going to see that today with the past tense. So, the past tense, it doesn't matter what the verb is, you're going to use the changed form of the verb. Okay? The changed form of eat or ita is 있어. That's the changed form, the conjugated form. The conjugated form of hada is 해. Have you heard 사랑해요? Okay? That 해 is the changed form. Ha changes to 해. The yo is just there to be polite. 사랑해요. 사랑해. Okay? Again, this concept we're going to see for the next 7 classes probably. So today's just an introduction.
And the go attachment on the unconjugated form means and, right?
Right, and. It'll mean and on the end of any verb.
Yeah.
Okay, we've seen 이쁘고. Okay, pretty and.
Yeah.
Okay, 기가 크고, big and. Okay? And you notice that I put those into their base form verbs and added go. Because go will always go on the unchanged form.
That's why you changed the back.
That's why I changed them back to their base form. Okay?
I mean,
So different sentence things like, where we have modal verbs almost, okay? Like can go, and, the verb is go, but the modal verb is can, okay? English has all these modal verbs, would go, okay? These kind of things. Korean has things that stick on the Okay, and those modal verbs give more, a little bit changed meaning to the verb itself. Okay, Korean has things that go in the end of verbs, where this level 1, what classes 1 to 12, focused on sort of the front of the sentence. Next class is going to start focusing more on the back of the sentence, okay, and changing verbs to give more meaning and really sort of expand what you can say. Okay. The past tense we're doing today will always go on the changed form of a verb. So if you want to speak in the past tense, you have to know how to conjugate a verb into its changed form. Okay? Fortunately, it's not that difficult in Korean. It takes a bit of work, but if you do that work up front, it's done. Okay? Now, actually getting into how to make the past tense. One thing I'll say, and again, this is just something that you'll have to trust me on. We can't see a pattern yet. The changed form of every single verb in the language will end in a vowel, and we'll see why later. Okay? So,
say that again.
the changed form of every single verb, you see how this is just just a vowel? Every single changed form of every single verb will end in a vowel. Okay? To make the past tense, all you do is you stick 2 S's under that vowel, and you add oil. So the sound soil is the past tense sound. Okay? Okay? So this becomes, rather than isoyo in the present tense, there is, or I have, isossoyo. There was, or I had. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
What was a long time ago you said like the cultural phrase, did you eat? Or
Yeah, 밥 먹었어요. 밥 먹어. Good.
So,
Good example. I'll use that right now. Okay? 먹다 is the verb to eat in the base form. 먹다. Okay? Just remind me that ha and hey are here. I want to use those as well. Okay? 먹다 is in the base form. So the unchanged form is what? Mo. Okay? Just write it down. That's the unchanged form. Mo. The changed form is 먹어. 먹어. Okay? How would we make that into the past tense? 먹었어요. Okay? We just changed from eat to ate. 먹었어요. Okay? Going back to the hada verb. Hada is the verb. What's the unchanged form?
Ha.
Ha. Okay? If I wanted to say, actually let's go here. Eat and. 먹고. Finish eating and come over. 먹고 와. 먹고, eat and 와. Okay? Remember the go always goes on the unchanged form. 먹고 와.
Wa is what?
Come.
Oh, come. Okay.
먹고 와. Okay? Eat and come. Finish eating and then come. 먹고 와. Okay?
What's hada?
Hada is by itself is the verb to do, but there's a whole group of hada verbs. Okay? There's a ton of hada verbs, which we're studying next class. Okay? The changed form, so if I wanted to say, do it and come. Do it and come over. Where eat it and come over was 먹고 와, 하고 와.
Wa.
하고 와. Okay? 하고. Ha or go goes on the end of an unchanged verb. 하고 와. Okay? The changed form of ha is 해, and we'll study this in detail next time.
So 해서요 is
했어요. Did. 했어요.
So it was the wa, hago, wa.
Wa is the the casual form of come. To come.
Okay.
Okay?
so 해서 yo.
Does this idea make sense?
Yep.
You take the changed form and you put soil underneath it. Okay?
Change form being conjugated, right?
Right, exactly. From eat to iso, from mok to mogo, from ha to he. Okay?
So changed is.
And again, these patterns is what the first, 5 classes, I believe, of level 2 of classes 13 to 24 are dealing with, okay, and showing how this works, okay?